Hello, everybody. We are back with another episode of our podcast with Dr. Katherine and Yann. So, we have a very interesting topic today. Let's do something fun and casual today with Dr. Katherine and Yann about parenting, actually. As
Wow.
usual. Yeah, both Yann and Dr. Katherine, as we know here, they are both mothers of two, actually. So, start with Yann first, maybe this round. So,
Okay.
tell us, how many kids do you have, Yann?
I have two, one 13, which is a teenage now, and one which is 5, which is a very cute age at this moment.
Yeah. So how what do you have to actually share with our audience? What are the fun things on how you actually raise? Is there any hacks that new mothers should actually master? To actually teach and basically tackle your kids, whether or not when they are naughty or when they are good.
I always think that parenting is the most difficult homework to do.
It's the toughest job
Yeah,
in
it's
the
the toughest job, and you will never know whether you are doing it right or
Correct.
wrong until they fully grow up, right?
Yes.
So, but of course, as a working mom, it's also not easy for us to juggle from a mother's role and also working as a working person, especially like we are running a business. But I always believe whatever we did wrong, there's two things that we shouldn't do wrong, which is number one, make your kids feel loved. Like, don't ever make them felt ignored or they are not loved, right? So I think making them feel loved is so, so important. The second one, I think, is their self-esteem. I have seen so many adults who have low self-esteem that it's really difficult to increase that self-esteem. If we as parents, we really can do a good job in
Instilling the
instilling
confidence
the
in them,
self-confidence
right?
and self-esteem. I think that is really important. Like everything that you have done wrong, I think it's not so badly damaged. But if you damage their self-esteem and if
Yeah.
they feel not loved, I think that will be quite a huge damage.
Yeah, because it's our childhood that shape our future, actually.
Yeah.
And a big part of childhood, it comes from family and your parents, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Yan. How about Dr. Katherine? What's your, say, two main master skill to actually teach and manage your children?
Yeah, okay. I have two kids. Fortunately, they are quite close apart. They are 6 and they are 4. So basically, I'm raising them at the same phase. They are at the stage where they are very curious. They are testing limits. Yeah, they want to know the limits. So I think it's a very important stage where we communicate very well with them. We don't just say no to them, but we must make sure they understand why is it a no. Yeah, because they are at the stage where they absorb a lot of new information and stuff. So it's very important to be present. Yeah, so I know some parents who sit next to the children. They will say, "Oh, I'm with the children. I'm spending time with them," but they're actually on the phone. So spending quality time is definitely better than spending quantity time. Yeah, so be present whenever you are with them. I think that's my number one role. And number 2 is communication. So, of course, we are humans. I do throw tantrum. I do, raise my voice, get angry, and show it to my children. When I come back to my senses, I will apologize to them. I think it's okay for adults to apologize to children. It's important to let them understand that your mother, your father, we are human too. We do make mistakes, but it's important to apologize.
Wow, this is actually a very good way, right? Even for children to see that, daddy and mommy is not always right, okay? And when they are wrong, they apologize too. So this is actually a very good way to instill that element of learning in children, I believe, instead of you just taking a rotan and just say, no, you are wrong, right?
Actually, it's really not easy for a parents to apologize. And I mean, from my childhood, I remember there's one time when my mom caned me for the wrong reason, And I was like, my mom is wrong, I was right, and like so much of not to say anger in you, right?
Anger.
Then that was the first time my mom apologized to me.
Oh,
That I felt, actually our parents
It
will
means so
be
much,
also
right?
also do wrong. We put so high expectation to our parents
yes.
that we think that they will never do wrong, but actually they will also do wrong. So we
And I
need
think,
to
parents are like superheroes to us.
Yeah.
I remember sometimes my daughter would ask me a question that I say, I don't know the answer, but let me go and Google it up for you. Her first response was, Mommy, you don't know, but you know everything.
mom like should know everything, right?
Then I sat down with her and I explained to her, no, Mommy doesn't know everything. Nobody in the world knows everything. But it's important for us to, search for information.
To
When
tell
we don't,
them we are also human, right?
Yeah.
So I always think that as children try to be a good child, we parents also try to be a good parents. So we should always be more understanding of each other, because sometimes your kids, they are actually trying to be a good child. But of course, they sometimes are throwing tantrum or doing the wrong thing, but they are also trying to be a good
I think
child.
it's a journey that we grow together as parents and children as well. We have to grow together because this is new to them and it's new to us as well.
But do you have a lot of mom's guilt?
I think I'm okay. I don't have too much, I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know it's important to put ourselves first.
Yeah.
True.
True.
It's important to have our personal time so we recharge, and when we are full of battery, we can give them the best.
Yeah. So I think same to me. I feel so much of mom beating up themselves so much. I feel number one, of course, just now you say being present. If you are being present with your kids, you don't have so much of guilt.
Yeah.
But if you are spending time with your kids, but you're not even
present,
there, like you're like not there for them as well, then of course, then when you're working, you're thinking of your kids and things like that. So I think being present at your work and being present when you're with your kids, you will have less of the mom's guilt.
But I think nowadays the biggest challenge is both parents go to work. Who do we, which trusted person handle our kids?
How do you outsource your kids?
I think that's the biggest challenge, because when so many stories being babysitters bullying the kids or not taking proper care of the kids also.
But
It's quite difficult.
But I always believe, take good care of people who take good care of you.
Of course,
Right?
of course.
So I think if you like, I have a nanny who takes care of my kids. Like, I take extra good care of her, because I always believe that people who take good care of us, we need to take extra good care of them as well.
Definitely. Yeah, we must feel grateful for them, right? And
That's a very good advice there, both of you. Yann and Dr. Katherine. Okay, speaking of caning, actually, caning kids, what's your take? As an Asian parents, like we brought up in, locally,
I think
okay?
it's a strict no for me. I would
Okay.
never, ever cane my children. I think violence is not the way to solve the problem. It is through communicating, educating. Yeah. So caning is an action of your anger during that time.
True.
Yeah.
And it imposes fear indirectly,
Yeah.
right?
So
actually.
using fear to get what you want is
It's not the
not
right.
as good as using a proper education or understanding to get you what you want, right? Yeah.
So you're definitely a better mom than me.
I won't say there's better mom or best mom or
Or
whatever.
there's a thing called moderately caning.
But I do threaten them.
Yeah, threaten.
I do threaten them with cane, which is wrong as well. But I don't have other better ways to do it.
I think my firstborn, I did cane her when she's younger time lah. I think especially like you say, it's true. It's act out of anger, especially when we are tired, we are so agitated already, and this young fella and come and test your patience and things like that. It's like, oh my God, just go and take the cane and cane.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, it's wrong. It's really not the right things to do. But sometimes, the time and the emotion and the things that happens. And I remember my daughter said, "Mommy, why you don't cane Titi at all?" Then I told her, you know what? You think caning is a good thing?
Yeah.
She said, of course it's not. I say, yeah, I learned it from you. Right? I'm so sorry that you're the firstborn. So a lot of mistake is done and learned from the firstborn. And I try not to repeat it on the second one. Right? So thank you for understanding that I am also trying to be a good mom now. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, that's why I say it's it's a learning process for both sides, right?
Yeah. So I sometimes it's true that firstborn has more damage compared to the second.
And actually, it's actually a very good transition, I would say, from, let's just say, our previous generation, means your parents, where we literally brought up with canes, right? Moving towards now, you guys as a mom, you guys actually started to understand the differences, and actually, in fact, schools these days, they forbid teachers from caning as well, you see, because last time, I'm talking about 20 years ago, every single classroom will have a cane, right? So now even
public caning
the government is forbidding this.
I remember assembly time, they call someone up and cane them in public.
It's really
I think
such
it's
a
not very
bad,
healthy,
bad culture to do, which,
But of
I'm
course,
glad the education system, when it comes to this one, is really improving. And, a lot of parents these days, they will not be, they cannot accept also that their children is being caned. We ourselves don't even cane our own children, right? And you are letting your teacher to cane your kids? No, that's no.
Actually, frankly, my parents' time, I was also very grateful. They don't really cane us a lot. Maybe I'm less, my brother maybe more.
Your brother must be a lot more naughty.
I think boys get more cane compared to girls, because girls are slightly more obedient, I will think. And I remember the old times when I get cane, I actually stand there and let my mom cane. And my brother will run around, and my mom need to chase him, even to the street to cane him. But I think our moms also, with the limited education and limited resources, they can only try their best to do what they know. If we now know
And
better.
I think times are a lot tougher for our
the old
our
times,
previous
right?
generation. They have to juggle with a lot of jobs, right?
Limited resources and things
Correct.
like that.
Trying to
Imagine my mom working halfway, then we also don't have the luxuries of having nanny to take care of us, right? So you are basically babysitting and working at the same time, and your kids was trying to test your limit, and the kids are very smart. They know that you are busy. They will try to push your limits more. My daughter will always come to me asking for permission when I'm talking on the phone. I'm like,
they know how to take advantage.
Because you just want to try to settle them. Okay, go. So they also are very
my
smart.
daughter as well. She always come, can I have more screen time when I'm busy?
Yeah, so we also see kids getting wiser these days, where they are trying to pick the right time for themselves to ask the mom for permissions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But recently, I read a very good book from Jordan Peterson about 12 rules of life. I think there's 2 rules about kids. One is don't let your children do things that you don't like. Means if yourself don't like your children, how can your children be liked by the society, right? And if you keep allowing your kids doing things that irritate people, these kids, when they grow up, they will have a hard time in the society. So sometimes it's true, there are certain kids when they come, you feel like joy, right? But there are certain kids when they come, you feel, oh my God, they are here. These little monsters are here, right? So Jordan Peterson says that I feel it's so important for parents. Certain parents just ignore their kids being naughty, and you're like, why is this little monster doing so many things, and the parents are not disciplining them? And that is also bad. If you yourself don't like your kids will have
I think, but then
trouble.
we must know that it's kids' nature to want parents' attention. When they are being naughty, it's a sign that they need more attention from parents. So we also must come back and think about what we as parents are not doing enough. A lot of misbehavior, attention-seeking behavior, and all that is all due to
daddy issue, right? Mommy issue.
Correct. It's all due to parents not being present enough. So if you're present enough, you spend time, you read their behavior, you're there truly. I think we can take care of a lot of problems.
Sometimes I have seen certain adults who are like kind of traumatized and things like that, also because of their parents neglect them too much. Like zero attention. Parents are so busy, never ever take care of.
That's why I say a lot of adulthood problem all comes from childhood.
Right.
If you have a very healthy, very happy childhood with wonderful parents,
chances are
you'll have a normal
healthier adulthood, right?
Yeah.
But of course, again, I always say when you're 13 years old, you can always blame your parents.
Yeah.
But when you're 30 years old, please don't blame your parents anymore.
Of course.
Right? Because as an adult, when you are a children, maybe you don't have that ability to do things your own. But when you're an adult, you can make better choices that can help you to be a better person.
And seek help when
you need to.
You need to.
So, thank you, Dr. Katherine and Yann. It's very insightful indeed, to actually get to know. Parenting is never easy. To all mom there, in case you guys are feeling insecure and, do not know how to handle your kids and everything. Everything here, it's a cumulative thing. It never happens over a day. Kids needed to be taught and taught the right way, to instill the right mentality and everything. So,
but I also think don't beat yourself too much. I also, sometimes we as mother, we always think, my child is all my responsibility. I think as long as we do 2/3 of the time right, it's okay. It's okay to have 1/3 of the time
being wrong.
Being
not good enough.
I
agree. I totally agree. And also, you can always seek help from your partner, your husband, your parents, your siblings, right?
Build a good support system.
Correct.
Whether it's your kids in school, the parents of the friends, or whether it's your neighbor.
So I think make friends with your kids' friends' parents.
Yes, so important. Because sometimes you just need a little help, right? Maybe you're not in time to pick up your kids, or maybe sometimes you need somebody to babysit and you don't have someone to babysit. Be nice to your in-laws, so your in-laws can also help you to babysit. So build a strong support system, especially for women. And I think like what Dr. Katherine said, I think end of the day, what we want from our children is to feel loved and connected, right? It's not about authority that, I ask you to do this and things like that. And I think sometimes we try to over-control our kids.
Correct.
Right? We try to control every little things they do, and we are even afraid of them taking risks, right? So even like in this Jordan Peterson book, he said that do not bother children when they are skateboarding. Means when kids are taking their risks, don't stop them, because we cannot shield them from the danger of the world. We can't shield them 24 hours until they grow up, right? And they need to face the world. And they need to learn their lesson by taking this type of risk. If you overly protected them, it's actually not doing good for the kids as well.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Great. Thank you, Yan and Dr. Katherine. So, if any of you actually have any questions about parenting, I would like to actually seek consultation, or you just have any questions for Yan and Dr. Katherine, feel free to drop us a DM and like us on Instagram and Facebook at Beauty & Co, Beauty & Co Clinic. So we shall see you in our next episode. Thank you.